Good evening, friends, followers, channel members. So who's excited? Flight Sim 2024 dropping tomorrow. I know someone named Dan is absolutely besides himself. Okay, so the plan tonight. Who remembers the last time we did one of these streams? A community flight stream, a group stream, as we throw realism to the wind and just enjoy what Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 has been all about in the last 4 years. And yeah, that is about bringing enjoyment and the realistic flight simulation that I never ever thought possible when I was younger. I can't wait to see what Flight Sim 2024 will look like tomorrow. But this will, I can say with some pretty certainty, this will be my final flight in Flight Simulator 2020 VFR. I've just seen Tony saying, I don't think it will be on last flight ever. No, Tony, I'm not saying that. Not saying that at all. Quite the opposite in terms of realistic flying, because I want my Phoenix, I want my A380, I want my A320neo from Fly-by-Wire. This is my final VFR flight. I just don't think Flight Sim 2020 will hold a candle to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 when it comes to VFR. So hopefully, I hope that's true. Otherwise, why on earth are we getting a new simulator? there is no point. But to plan the plan today is we are going to we're going to head up to. We're going to head up to Netherthorpe, which is my real world, the airport that I fly to from in real life. So that's going to be, yeah, that's our plan. We're in Biggin Hill. We are going to be VFRing it all the way. Of course, typical weather in the UK. It's raining, it's snowing. So we're not on live weather. And of course, we're not on live time either. So yeah, come and join us. We're on the North Europe server, still got time to join us, and even if you can't join us now, spawn in somewhere. There are hundreds of airfields en route. Spawn in, join us, and we'll have a massive gang arrive at Netherthorpe, and I reckon it's going to be about an hour and a half's journey up there, in a little Cessna 172 anyway. I'm in a 152. I've just seen Jayhog there down on the ground on a 172. So yeah, we'll cane it as much as we can. So fingers crossed. We'll have a great time. I know we'll have a great time because you guys are here. Nick, mate, kicking off the stream with celebrating 44 months of channel membership, saying thank you, Flight Sim 2020. You treated us well. It has done indeed. And Mosquito waving from Hamburg over on Twitch. Nick also subbing at Tier 1 as well, who's subbed for 22 months. Nick, the end of an era, yes, but the start of a brand new one as well, which is what we're all looking forward to. Right, let's get on board. Let's get out of here. Let's enjoy. Let me just get rid of this text. We don't need that anymore. I have got my map up. This is how I'm going to find my way up to Netherthorpe, by the way. I'm not flying real airspace routes. We're just going to go straight through the control area of London, which obviously you would not do in real life. No. And oops, get rid of that. I've also got Say Intentions running in the background, so we may get a few stories from our AI tour guide, which I think would be quite nice to help us up there as well. Team Simple, you can fly in your Phoenix if you want, but you're going to have to go very, very, very slowly. Lulu, where's the tray table in this thing? Oh, what did you train in, Lulu? You'll remember that there's no space. There's no space in this thing at all. It's ridiculous. Right, okay, I'll tell you what, I will go through very, very quickly the sort of starting this off as it should be in real life. I've even got my checklist in front of me here. So, here are parking brakes, radios, instruments, yeah, they work. Flight controls, I'm sure they're fine. Just check we're set neutral for our takeoff. Yep. Cabin, heat, off, close, mixture. We've got full free movement and set nice and rich. Throttle is fine. We want 1/4 inch, so about there. Carb heat should be set to cold. Magnetos off. Master switches. Let's get those on. Circuit breakers, whatever. Fuel cock down here. I've turned that on already, so that's fine. Get our beacon light on. Primer. Don't need to do that. And lookout. Clear prop. And let's see if we can get her started then, shall we? Beautiful. Okay, I'm not going to bother with the radios or anything like that. Let's let her bring her up. Right, I don't know which way the wind is blowing. I've not gone that realistic. We're just going to go and enjoy. So, let's spin her around. Lots of differential braking needed in a Cessna. Service from London to Edinburgh. She's very wrong. I might have to give Say Intentions a bit of a refresh. For those of you still loading, don't worry. You can join us. You can join us en route. Go away. Yeah, you can. You can join us en route. So don't worry about that. Hey, Yardy. $10 degrees of flap set. Lovely. So if you are joining us, remember set multiplayer and make sure you're on the North Europe server. Alright guys, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome aboard Flight GSP from London to Edinburgh. My name is Caroline and I'm your
We're not going to Edinburgh.
Today.
Go away.
Joining me in the cabin are my wonderful colleagues, Emily, Jack, Sarah and Tom. Our captain is EasyJet Simplet and our first officer is. Before we take off, I would like to go over some important safety.
Right, so take off, lower the nose, allow the speed to climb to 65, and then pull it up.
Your seatbelt, insert the metal tip into the buckle until you hear a click.
And we want to climb at 65, and we want to head
In the event of a loss
north.
of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down from above you. Pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Place it over your nose and mouth, and secure it with the elastic band. Remember to put your own mask on before assisting others. We also have swim vests located.
So we'll swim around to the
right.
right.
Event of an emergency landing on water, pull the vest out, place it over your head, and pull the strap.
And we're going to cruise, I reckon, at about between 2,000 and 3,000 feet.
The expected flight time today is approximately 1 hour and 30 minutes. Thank you for your attention, and we hope you have a pleasant flight. Captain, the cabin is ready.
Bit late if the cabin wasn't. Yardy says he was looking forward to flight
At
24
our 11
tomorrow.
o'clock is the Biggin Hill Airport.
But he's now working.
Now, this isn't just any old airport. It was a key site during World War II, serving as a fighter station. You know, where brave pilots flew off to defend the skies. It opened in 1917, which is quite a long time ago, isn't it? It's like if your granddad had a job there, he'd probably still be telling
Look at that,
stories
guys.
about it at family gatherings.
Look at that, turning the intercom off. What amazing support from all of you guys joining us today. There you all are. Hope you can spot yourself as well. I see Nick still in the ground. Subby White. There's J-Hog. J-Hog, good news for you. We'll be landing on a grass runway. You'll feel right at home. Duke, have I decided which version I'm getting? No. No, I have not. I still don't know. I think I'm going to have to wait and see what the... I'm going to have to wait and see what airports are included in each of the different versions. I think that is probably going to be one of the key things for me. I don't actually care about the different aircraft that are in it because, as I mentioned in a video released a little bit earlier today, the aircraft I fly, they are all they're all the Phoenix, the fly-by-wire, the airlines. And even in the basic version, you get, don't you? You get the new Beluga from Inner Builds. You'll get the A321XLR, the A320 Neo that they put in there as well. So yeah, basically that's the plan. We shall see indeed what tomorrow holds. They've not released what airports are going to be available, have they? Not yet. Right, let's level her off there, I reckon. There's London. Nearly at London. Who remembers that stream? One of our famous ones. We've had so many. What I really wanted to do was put together a Flight Sim 2020 best bits that we'd had here on the channel, but there were just so many. I just didn't have time. Anyone that wants to join us and is just spawning in, maybe consider perhaps London City, which we can see down there to our right. And now we've got a nicely trimmed, gorgeous view of people behind us, and now we have London ahead of us. This is it. This is what we are going to be following. So just have a quick look. We're going to pass over. We've got London City just there. We've got the what I call the horseshoe of the Thames. That's just here. We'll head for that, and then we'll head up on the M1 as we make our way slowly to God's own county, leaving the southern part of the world. Team Simple, you don't see the same people. Make sure you're on the North Europe server. That's key. Yes. Fruitbat said we should have a video that is the best of HD instructions. Might get flagged. Yeah, that that needs to come with a user viewing warning. Yardy, the only reason I'm thinking of getting the deluxe is because of the Saab, right? Yeah, I've seen that. Team Simple, press the escape button, then on your top right, click your icon, your logo, your avatar, and then you can change the server that you're on. Simon, God's own county, Lincolnshire. No. Although Lincolnshire is very nice. Lincolnshire is like going back in time. That is how I see Lincolnshire. Time has stood still in Lincolnshire. At least that's how I see it. Now, do we go A1 or do we go M1? Ooh, it's decisions. I did say originally we were going to go the M1. We'll go the M1. Really kind and great to be flying with all you guys again. This site makes me happy. I love this. Seeing all of you flying with us. Hope we can pick a few more people up as well en route. I've got the time of day set to dawn, so that's obviously quite nice. Everyone flying sensible aircraft there. Spitfires, 172s, 152s. So yeah, really good to see. What I like about doing something like this is people that have no idea what the EasyJets in Pilot channel is, who may happen to be on the same server, will just see this mass ambush of pilots flying towards them, which I think must look kind of funny. Dr. Magic says he remembers these community flights very fondly. I know, we used to do them every Sunday, and then things got away from us like they always do, I'm afraid. Team Simple, you've never flown on multiplayer. It can be good fun. So many people enjoy doing multiplayer flights, just like this. Jack says I'm probably going to stay on 2020 for the foreseeable. not going to be able to run 4K high settings on 24 as it barely runs on 2020. Well, Jack, this is one of the things, you see, 2024 should run much better than 2020. It's better optimized. It uses more cores on your CPU, etc., and all of that. So don't discount that just yet. Lulu says the conga line. Yes, wait till we all land. It's like a scene from the end of Die Hard. It's good fun. Nick, no churches, please. Don't want to hang. I remember that, Nick. That was amazing. So this is going back a long time ago when we used to do these community flights. Nick took it upon himself during our very first set of Iconic series flights that every time we saw a church, he would have a drink. He wasn't a very successful pilot by the end. Bus driver, how am I navigating? I'm navigating like this. This is how I'm navigating, literally. How we did it back when we enjoyed our Iconic stream flights. We'll find the Emirates Stadium, and oh, don't fly into me. We'll find the Emirates Stadium, we'll find the M1, and we'll go. That's the plan. So I think that's the Emirates down here, is it not? We'll have a quick look. Why not? Siggy, will the wing work on flights in 2024? Probably not straight away. We're going to have to give them time. We're going to have to give a lot of the hardware developers time. Even things like mobile flight and stuff like that, I'm assuming, will not be out of the box. So we'll give them the time they need. Right, let's do a wing wave over the Emirates. This is what's going to be interesting to see tomorrow. What's all of this going to look like? Lots of people have never been really happy with the way the photogrammetry in London looks. Lots of people said it looks like it does after the Blitz. Yeah, so there is the Emirates. We're now going to take the main road. Where is the main road? In fact, we might now just need to head over towards the Royal Air Force Museum. We're just down here. So, there we go. Bank over to the left. Everyone follow Fly Ganders, assuming he's one of us. And Phil McDowell, mate, thank you so much. Gifting 5 EasyJet SimPilot channel memberships for our flight today. Really, really kind of me. Appreciate that so much. Welcome to our new members. So, is that Hampstead Heath, I think, down there? This is where we discovered just how realistic Microsoft Flight Simulator actually was. In that you could literally just be following it on Google Maps and work our way over there. So we're now, obviously, as I say, flying over here. We've got Kenwood House. What are those? There's those two pond icons there, which I think are these two just here, maybe. We'll keep heading towards Kenwood House. Oh, hang on. What stadium's that? There's so many stadiums. Hang on. That's not the Emirates, is it? That could be the Emirates. We'll zoom in. Oh, I think that might be. In that case, we're still on the right track. It's okay. Yes, that's the Emirates. I was going towards the wrong one. The Emirates is actually really easy to spot when you're coming in on the train. This train line here, if anyone's ever been to King's Cross, yeah, it goes in there, and very, very easy to spot there. Right, yes, there's the main train line that we can see just here that runs out across. So we've now got, I think, whatever road this is. We'll find the M1 eventually. I think it's this way. If not, it's another football stadium. There's so many. Of course, you could also follow this train line, which goes straight up towards through Leicester and Doncaster. And do that as well. Oh man, and Nick dropping, I say dropping, an amazing £50 super chat. Nick, that is incredible support, my friend. Thank you so much. One of our mod team as well, of course. A legend in his own right. He is the legend, Nick. Thank you so much, mate. Really do appreciate that. And I know, and I am going to tell everybody, you've actually taken this week off, haven't you? You've taken this week off to enjoy Microsoft Flight Simulator. I don't blame you. I wish I could as well, but that is incredible. Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate that. Robert, just picking me up on that. You are, of course, right, Robert. Yeah, it doesn't do Leicester. It's not Leicester at all. I'm thinking of it. It's Peterborough, Grantham, and then Doncaster, isn't it, on the East Coast main line. You can also get to Sheffield, although that's St Pancras, isn't it? That's not King's Cross, if memory serves. Simon Pertz confirming as well. Yeah, that's the Emirates next to the railway line. Team Simple says he's coming in from Luton. Fair enough. Simon says he's in Grantham. Always wanted to see his hometown in Flight Sim 2020. Have you not seen that before? Ah. Andy Boyce is in the chat. Happy New Sim Eve, everybody. Good evening to you. Right, I am following a road. I'm not sure which road it is. We'll find out eventually. It looks semi-official. Which way are we actually flying? Oh yeah, this seems about right. Sort of. That's the whole beauty of the flight sim. Just look for landmarks. There we can see we've got the ponds there, whatever ponds they are, and they're just here. Look. Owen, have I got any routes or aircraft planned for tomorrow? No. No, I've not. Literally can't plan anything because... so, in case you're unaware, tomorrow I am busy in the evening. Really unfortunate. Wife's working as well, so that doesn't help. I've got my lads football as well tomorrow evening. The sim doesn't release until 4 PM our time. I don't know how long that is going to take to download. 50 gig should be a few hours, but at the same time you've got to think those servers, they're going to get hammered, aren't they, tomorrow? They are going to get so hammered tomorrow. So how long do we think it is going to take? I bought Flight Simulator 2020 on day one of its release, and it took me, oh god, how long was it, the first download? 28 hours. 28 hours! Which is a ridiculous amount of time. But I'm hoping, obviously it's a much smaller download, it's like a third of the size, isn't it? It's a third of the size, and I am hopeful that it might be, you know, just not quite as bad server-wise. Guido says the fly-by-wire server survived the A380, so Microsoft servers should be able to handle. Yes, yes, but I do think it's fair to say more people will be downloading the sim than the A380. Syrian says it also depends on your bandwidth. I assume that is bandwidth. But yes, you are quite right, of course. Right, this is coming back to me now. How we used to do this. Right, that looks like a decent junction. Let's follow this road. I think we're heading roughly the right way. Although I am wondering if this is the M1. And that's the M25. Let's make a right, boys. It looks like a motorway virtual pilot. It does. So we'll go with that. What we need to do now is see if we can pick out some more landmarks. We were doing the M25 to begin with, virtual pilot, that is right, and then obviously picking up the M1. Siggy, how do you enable the multiplayer if it is disabled? Go into the options and you want to turn it on in the traffic and also the data folders. Both of those. Is that a runway down there? Oh no, just looked like it. One of the first things I noticed in Flight Sim 20... that's a big plane. One of the first things I noticed in Flight Sim 2020 when we got it was these. When I launched in to the sim and I saw wind turbines, I thought, oh my word, that is amazing. And now, we're just used to it. It's normal. Hey, Christian says, who's flying the vacuum cleaner? Whoever it is has just turned the vacuum cleaner off, I think. Does anyone know where we are? We're still flying north? Yeah, we're still flying north. It's got to be the M1. I can't pick it out on the map. We're nearly at London. We're nearly at London. Nick says Hatfield. I mean, Nick, you should be giving us the... you should be giving us all of the guide. You're from this neck of the woods. Just need to go down a bit. We've just climbed a few feet. I've not been inside the sim, have I? So I've got no idea. Stefano says you can tell how realistic it is by counting the number of golf courses. They are great for VFR flying because it tells you that you know they're good things just to pick out. Arthur says we're at Welwyn Gardens City. Oh, we're on the A1M, are we? All right, well that'll work. That'll work. We can find out as well interesting things about where we are, thanks to our wonderful tour guide, who never, unlike me, gets lost. And we just have to ask her, hey, so what can you tell us about this place?
our 3 o'clock, just a kilometer away, is Shire Park. Now, Shire Park isn't just a place where people go to work in offices and pretend to be busy. No, no. It's actually an industrial zone, which sounds very important, doesn't it? It's like the adult version of a playground, but instead of swings, there are factories and people in suits. Now, my mate Toby thought it would be a grand idea to host a picnic here, right in the middle of all the machinery. He brought sandwiches, a blanket, and a very confused look from the workers. They thought he was trying to start a new trend called industrial dining. Imagine Toby sitting there with his ham sandwich, while everyone else is trying to figure out how to operate heavy machinery. It's a miracle he didn't end up in a safety video. So if you see any confused office workers, just remember, they're not having a picnic like Toby.
Now, Arthur, I will
This
recognize...
place is Coleman Green Airstrip, which is basically a fancy patch of grass where planes land and take off. It's like a runway, but without the glitz and glamour of a big airport. My friend Toby once thought it would be a good idea to try and set up a lemonade stand here, thinking pilots would be thirsty after flying. Unfortunately, he didn't realize that planes don't stop for refreshments, and he ended up with a lot of very confused pilots and a very sticky situation. So if you ever see a lemonade stand at an airstrip, just know it's probably not Toby's doing.
I do quite like her. So Arthur, as I was about to say, yeah, Stevenage is actually very easy to pick out, and I have worked here a little bit. So let me see if I can pick out the leisure centre here, where I've been a few times. So there's the golf course, just to show you that I do actually know where we are. Here's the golf course, here's Stevenage, there's the train line that's running through it. We can see the train line here. I normally get off the junction here, we then go left, and I end up stopping every time in a Premier Inn, which I think is just here. There's a bit of a retail park there, and there is the Stevenage Leisure and Arts Centre just there, look, which is actually right on the approach path to Luton. Which is, can we see Luton over there? It's over there somewhere. But yeah, you see aircraft going in and out of Luton when I'm. Oh, it's there. There you go. There we are. Looks like someone going into Luton. Although maybe not if they're climbing. Yeah. So been there a few times. Okay, so we've taken an unexpected twist in that we're taking the A1 instead of the M1, but that's okay. We're going to have to make the jump across at some point, though, otherwise we're not going to find my airstrip. Team Simple, yeah, Luton is the nearest airport at the moment. Stevenage North, then. See, I know the country by hotels. That's how I know where we are. Premier Inn hotels. AOR says, is this the 152, my training aircraft in flight? It is indeed. It is indeed. So this should bring back memories for you. We'll keep it real though, as we should do when flying VFR, is if you are following landmarks and roads, you always stay with the landmark on your left-hand side. That's part of your air law training, if you remember that far back. Renim says I can only navigate by local pubs. Dr. Magic, does Stevenage Leisure Centre still turn into a theatre? Yes. Yes, it does. Chris says for the A14 soon, that'll get you onto the M1. Oh, we could do. We could. Another golf course. What fun. Now you see, you can't do that in Flight Sim 2024 because wake turbulence would have just spiraled me to the ground and then I wouldn't have been happy. So make sure we follow the left-hand road. The right-hand road is, well, I don't know where that takes you to or what that is. The North Hertz Leisure Centre, though, is apparently down here. I remember doing this for our iconic series. So much fun. The Gordon Craig Theatre, Matt. That's the one. Yep, that's the one. I work there I've been there several times. Zaytoga says we should do the same thing tomorrow and publish a comparison video. Do you know, Zaytoga, I did think we could do something like that. Who would be up for doing this again tomorrow night, but in the new sim? In which case, if wake turbulence was actually a thing, then that could end really, really badly. All the guys following us over on Twitch, guys, thank you for joining us. Make sure you stick with us tomorrow for, of course, the launch of Flight Sim 2024. Ada tomorrow says it'll be the A330 and the Beluga. Robert says fly back south. That's a good idea, Robert. I like that idea. Then it is something a little bit different. Right, hang on, let me just... My aircraft's out of trim. Let me just level her back off. It will be interesting to see what it feels like tomorrow. You see, I want to fly with real world weather, but we're in the UK and it's rubbish, isn't it? So we can't do that. Seitoga, can you install 2020 and 24 on the same PC without issues? Ask me that question again tomorrow, Seitoga, because that is my plan. I still want 2024 because I want the Phoenix. I want to be able to fly the A380. I want all of those. So yeah, I want those. So I am going to try and keep both of them. Simon says the A1 looks a bit odd in the flight sim. There's no accidents or lane closures. What's that? That looked like a mighty big shadow. That's not my shadow. Onzibat says it's snowing. I know. Another reason why we can't use real world weather, isn't it? Right, coming up to Biggleswade. Oh, it's Elk Chocolate in his A380. Hey, Elk. Dynasty, which version will I get? I honestly do not know. I'm between versions. The different aircraft don't have that much of a pull for me. It's going to be the scenery, I think. But then, why would I spend lots more money on a version with lots of new airport sceneries when in a few weeks, months, etc., we're all going to upgrade and get Builds and Orbex and their sceneries instead. What I am looking forward to is the A350 when that comes. Team Simple says he's got his Phoenix 319 down to 112 knots and it's not stalling. Have you taken all the seats out? Right, let me just navigate this. Here we go. So this is Biggleswade. I have never heard of that place in my life. Mona's in the chat. Hey, Mona. Can you tell me anything about Biggleswade beneath us? So I'm just asking the tour guide if she knows anything about this place.
Biggleswade is a charming little town known for its history and the River Ivel, which runs through it. It's like a postcard from the past, but with more cars and fewer horse-drawn carriages.
Wasn't a massive answer, that, was it? I'm guessing there's not that much online about Biggleswade. Oh well, never mind. Chris says no, move along. Robert says apparently if you own the 2020 Premium Deluxe version you get all the planes and airports that come with it. I have read that. I don't know how that's going to work, but that is the version that I have got. Christian says, yeah, that equals a dead village. Right, what we got next then? A little place called Sandy. Francisco, what are my expectations for the A320neo in Flight Sim 2024? Honestly, I think the exact same as it is in 2020. I can't see there being that much difference, to tell you the truth. I might be wrong. Say Togo, will the Phoenix work tomorrow in 2024? No. We may be surprised, but native support is not guaranteed. No. DC says he thinks he'll wait until Phoenix is ready before getting 2024. Yeah, I can see lots of people doing that. Robert says Sandy is famous for having a big transmitter. Oh, we don't need the AI. We've got you. Highfield Farm B&B. That's what I think this is over here. I miss doing this. I do miss doing this. Apparently over here somewhere is RAF Tempsford. I'm not seeing it, if I'm being perfectly honest. Then again, it might be closed down and just have disappeared into the background. Owen says, didn't they say Flight Sim 2020 add-ons should work with Flight Sim 2024? But the fact that Phoenix uses external apps makes me think it won't work straight away. Yeah, I think that is indeed the case, yes. So, fly-by-wire, Phoenix, they're not going to work straight off. Wayne's in the chat. Hey, Wayne. Wayne says Sandy is my wife's name and is famous for giving me grief. Whose fault's that, Wayne? Good to see you, my friend. It's been a while. Right, what we got next up? We have got... Oh, where's this? Eaton Ford. Yeah, that's what we can't do in Flight Sim 2024 tomorrow, because that Wake Fortesses now would have just done this. So, yeah, we can't do that. Does mean for those of you who like to fly realistically on VATSIM, when you're taking off behind a 380 Super and VATSIM air traffic control is giving you the long sort of wait time because of that, it is actually going to be needed. Owen says, oh, that is going to make multiplayer much more fun. I wonder if there is an option to turn it off for that reason. Panda's Twitcher says, I wonder if the aerodynamic physics in Flight Sim 24 is the same as X-Plane 12. I haven't got X-Plane 12, so I'm not going to be able to sort of do a comparison video on that. Doors to manual, good evening. Shire Oaks is snowing right now. I mean, if I turned on live weather right now, it would look a complete mess, wouldn't it? Nick who swore. What a view. Who's flying with their landing gear down? Is that the only way you can maintain 117 knots? Oh, see Dr. Magic down there. Okay, so what we're going to do in a minute, we're going to come up to a junction with the A14. We're going to take the A14, that's going to take us across to the M1. Twarog, okay, Twarog, are we expecting a big improvement over what we're seeing now? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I've kind of wanted to be surprised tomorrow by what we've got. I've not looked too much at all of the videos. I've not looked too much at all of them. I've just tried to keep it a little bit mysterious. I've seen some things, obviously. I've seen screenshots. I've seen a few videos that have been knocking about. But at the same time, I also want to discover it all along with you guys. And I think that's going to be part of the fun of it. I do think the graphics are going to be better. The big thing I am expecting, or at least I'm hoping for, is the performance should be better. It should be better optimized. So that is definitely what I'm looking for. Right, here's the junction with the A14. Which then will bring us out near Birmingham, Leicester, so that's what we're going to be doing. That over there, by the way, is the Brampton Wood Nature Reserve, apparently. Fenland Pilot, we're on the North Europe server if you want to join us. Say Toga, will the map be updated in 2024 or will we still have these empty areas? Empty areas? This is England's green and pleasant land, although not very green at the minute. What do you mean empty areas? This is what England looks like from the air. This is the perfect place to fly my little Cessna, because if the engine cuts out, the worst that can happen is I die in a farmer's field somewhere. And only take my own life and nobody else's. Megabus Gaming Flight Simulator 2024 does not release tonight at midnight on Xbox in the UK. No. Twilight, are we flaps 1? No, flaps 0. Okay guys, we're going to bank a left and we're going to take the 14. Just keeping it real, Lulu. Just keeping it real. Do you know one of the scariest things I've done with flight training is, and I'm sure anyone that's ever done it will remember, it was when we took off. We were about 600 feet, something like that, and when training, the instructor, he just closed the throttle. I went, right, engine failure, where are you going to land? And honestly, your plane drops. I don't know if this would this do it? Would it actually do it a little bit? Let's see. If we pull that. Oh yeah, there you go. And suddenly you're like, okay, where are we gonna go? Where are we gonna go? And if that happens, target 70 knots and pray you're not in a built-up area. Now, for the sake of this stream as well, I've kept the throttle to max because, well, I've got failures and stuff turned off, so I don't care that I'm in the red. But yeah, obviously you wouldn't normally. You'd usually hold it about 23. Although you can have a little bit less because it's getting really cold now. So in the warmer months we hold it about 23 because the air was, wasn't that dense. And you'd find that the performance was really, really good, too good, and that you could be climbing when you don't want to be. So you can drop it off a little bit less when it's cold. Right, there's not that much on the A14, is there? Spaldwick. What a wonderful place. Lenny, should you uninstall Rex AccuSeasons for Flight Sim 2024? I don't think AccuSeasons is going to be needed. The whole point of Rex AccuSeasons was to give you the seasons in the simulator where Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 didn't give it you. So they're included by default in 2024. Christian says, when the instructor pulls the thrust lever to idle and say, right, we have an engine failure, what are you going to do? You say no. You close the mixture, then reply, now we have an engine failure. Shut up. Honestly, the first time we did it, the drop that you get is quite scary, and you realise how little time you've got to react. Now, obviously, that was IFATO, so that was engine failure on takeoff, which is the worst case scenario. And if you get your engine failure on takeoff and you're only 500, 600 feet, you're not turning around. If you try to turn around to land back where you've just come from, you'll kill yourself. You just need to find somewhere semi-safe. The startle factor, indeed, Lulu, and I've purposefully practiced it quite a few times just to rid myself of that startle factor, because it's all right. I think you only need to do it once or twice in your actual training, but I was like, I would prefer to do this more because I want to be used to that feeling, so if it happens I can react quicker to it, and the key is not to panic, which it sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? Yeah, gravity is going to win, don't panic. But the moment you panic, you can't make the decisions that you need to make. The other good thing is when you're halfway around the circuit, and again the instructor closes the throttle and says, right, engine failure, get us to the threshold. That's good fun, and you want to try and judge that. J-Hug says he would see it different to me. He'd be like, yeah, we're going grass cutting. You love cutting your grass. Elk chocolate apparently in an Antonov 225. Stefano says the efficiency of the 5-to-1 you learn from 2. You actually have plenty of time to find the right spot. You do, if you've got height on your side. And if you're flying over in the UK, you do have lots. I mean, look at this. Just look around us. I'm not going to struggle to find a farmer to upset. But if you're in a big built-up area, then you haven't got that long to decide. Aim for the spot, and like Lulu just says, play the percentage. Find the place that gives you the best chance of survival. So I aim for the hospital. I'm only joking. Savannah says you live near Rome, so it's a bit more challenging. Yes, of course. Very built up there. Yeah, Lulu, so always know your best lift drag ratio, green dot we call it in the Airbus. In the Cessna 152 it's 70 knots. Right, where's this that we're coming up to? A place called Thrapston. Apparently. A few gardener lovers out there. There's a little place over here called Titchmarsh. Presumably not named after Alan. Pazvilla says, I'm glad I've managed to catch a stream of Flight Sim 2020 as people start saying farewell. Well, it's for me personally, it's only going to be farewell for VFR flying. VFR flying, if I do any now, will be on the it will be on the new sim. Our real ops flights, we need the Phoenix and other high quality add-ons. So, yeah. Christian, is there some sort of good rule for landing in a field? I always land parallel to the cut direction. I've got to be honest, that's probably one of the things on the bottom of my list where I'm looking for somewhere to land in an emergency. Try and land on the lines that it's been ploughed. Yeah. A320 Sim Captain has just purchased Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and which version have you gone with? Not very much on the map that's very impressive round here. Where are we? Over here. This way we are. We're just passing this here. We've got the Tyrwell Gullet. Apparently, that is coming up. Whatever that is, down here somewhere. Kettering indeed coming up. Yeah, we can see Kettering. It's right in front of us. Still got the road just beneath us to our left. Lenny says he's gone for the standard edition. He mainly flies the Phoenix. That just makes good sense then, I think. Yeah. Right, we're going to fly straight over the top of Kettering. We see a white building there. If I have a quick look, we can see that that's then, it's not a white building, but a white build bearer. It will be the Telford Way Industrial Estate, apparently. So I reckon if we head for that, we've got the A14 sort of comes around there then, doesn't it? So if we aim sort of over Glendon between the two white bits here, we can see that, and then we're taking the A14 as it continues running out past Harrington. Endergrome, good afternoon to you. Salty Rib says, won't be purchasing just yet. I've got too many add-ons that he's paid for Flight Sim 2020 and upwards of 1,000 hours towards my license on the Sim for the Sim experience, so can't do that just yet. Yes, because that is another thing. Your Sim hours, your logbook, etc. will not transfer over. So that's quite an important thing as well, isn't it? If you are flying with us, I hope you can see yourself. Kudos to those of you who are attempting this in to fly as slow as us in an Airbus. Guido says, I was thinking of keeping myself busy with the career system while waiting for the airliners to become compatible. That is another thing that I think might frustrate a few people. So the fact that you won't be able to do the career path with the fly-by-wire or the Phoenix aircraft because they're not available in the marketplace. Dr. Magic, yeah, I assume there will be 2 community folders available, one for 2020 and one for 2024. They are essentially, they're different sims, aren't they? So the installation path should be different. Eddie Bally says, our favourite YouTubers are acting like it's a funeral. Not everyone's going to uninstall this great sim. Neither am I, Eddie Bally, no. But I probably will not be flying VFR anymore in Flight Sim 2020, which is why we're doing this right now, here today. This is our final VFR flight. That's all we're doing, Diff. That's what we're saying farewell to. We're saying farewell to VFR in Flight Sim 2020, as 2024 should be much better. Okay then, so what can you tell us about where we are now? Which I'm expecting our tour guide to talk about Kettering. Let's see.
Well, right now, we're flying over Wold Lodge Airstrip, which is basically a glorified field where planes land and take off. It's like if someone decided to make a runway in their backyard, but forgot to tell the neighbors. Speaking of backyards, my friend Toby once thought it would be a brilliant idea to host a barbecue here, thinking pilots would want burgers after flying. Unfortunately, he didn't realize that planes don't stop for hot dogs, and he ended up with a very confused air traffic controller and a lot of burnt sausages. So if you smell something funny, it's probably not Toby's cooking.
She has a story about Toby for everything. He's lived a great life. Christian Summer, mate, thank you so much for your €2 super chat, saying thanks for the last 4 years in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Do you reckon we'll do another 4 years? I hope so. Right. That's the 14 down there, so we'll keep following that. Chris Morgans. I'm not reading that out, but it made me laugh. Okay, so this is Rothwell beneath us. There's also the Harrington Air Base War Memorial. I can see that. It's down here somewhere, apparently. Not obvious. DC, you have the 2020 Steam Edition. Should I buy the 2024 also Steam? So if you bought things from the marketplace, then you probably will need the Steam Edition as well, because I remember reading that purchases made in the Steam version will not transfer over to the Microsoft Store version. So that is obviously quite a big thing. Toby is definitely trying. You are correct. Oh, Christian says they've changed that. Have they changed it so you can now swap? Ah, well that's good. That's good news for everyone who fancies it. Maybe is that Microsoft's way of trying to get people off store and off Steam and over to store. I don't know what benefit they get out of that. Right, we can see the 14 straight in front of us. It's still here. Look. And we have got a place called Harrington coming up. Harrington, yes, here. Apparently there's a Harrington dog walking field. Oh, there you go, look. Harrington dog walking field. Oh, and there's an aviation museum as well. Who knew? What's that got? That'd be interesting. Maybe. Harrington Aviation Museum. A museum with exhibits about USA Air Force bomber group, clandestine World War II missions, and Cold War missile site. So we're now obviously flying over a rather rural part. There's not that much of interest here at this point. So I don't even know if our entourage tour guide can actually tell us anything about this. Let me ask her. Can you tell us anything interesting about this place?
Well, at our 1 o'clock, about 3 miles out, is the River Ivel. Now, this isn't just any river. It's like the lazy cousin of the Thames, just meandering about with no real purpose. My friend Toby once thought it would be a good idea to try and fish here, but instead, he ended up falling in and getting chased by a very angry swan. He claims it was a near-death experience, but I think it was just a very wet afternoon for him. So, if you see any swans, just remember they might not be as friendly as they look.
I was gravely concerned about that aircraft that just seemed to fall from the sky there. That was... that didn't look like it ended well. That wasn't you, J-Hog, was it, by any chance? God, this must be a boring road to drive. Has anyone driven this in real life? Given it says swans will break your arm. I've heard that rumour. Michigan's final flight of Flight Sim 2020, final VFR flight in Flight Sim 2020. Robert Pilcher says he has driven this lots of times. It's boring in the last few junctions that go on for way too long. What you're saying they should have just cut the road short and stopped it. I'm looking for landmarks. There really is not very much at all, is there? Landmark-wise. So the next big junction is the one with the M1 and the M6. We'll obviously be taking the M1. I don't want to go to Birmingham. Fruitbat says nothing is as boring as the M40. Well, guys, whilst we're just doing this boring bit of the boring bit of England, please do hit the like button. Help boost our profile ready for tomorrow. The like button really does help with the YouTube algorithm. So, yeah, big thank you to those of you that have done that already. Massive shout out as well for the support you guys have given. In fact, a massive shout out in general to everyone who has helped support us over the last 4 years since Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 became available. I never ever had any plans to be a YouTuber, a content creator, whatever you want to call it. I had no plans to do this at all when Flight Sim 2020 came out. My only plan was to enjoy, like you, the new platform. Having grown up with Flight Sim 95, 98, 2000, 2002, 4, FSX, I was just thrilled that there was a new flight simulator available. And the fact that it ended up being what we've got now in what I am biased, but what I think is simply the most amazing community here in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is all you guys. It's nothing to do with me. You're the community. I'm just some guy that enjoys flying. And yeah, it's incredible to think that Flight Sim 2020 has changed my life. It definitely has changed my life. It's changed my wife's as well. She doesn't see me anymore. She thinks it's great. So yeah, just a massive thanks to all of you for an incredible last 4 years. Lulu, as a non-native of the UK, can I ask what dogging? I wish I'd read that before I read it out. I need a minute. Don't look it up. Especially if you go on Google Images. Right, I've got a drink, thank God for that. Where are we? This is the junction. Right, come on, back on track. This is the junction. This is the junction between the M6, the M1 and the A40. I really wish I'd seen Lulu's reaction to that Google search. Which town are we nearby? Dogsville. Rally Racer, am I excited about the MSA 350? Yes, very much so. Looking very much forward to that. Right, here is the junction, and here's the M1, which I have indeed travelled hundreds of times. There we are. So this is the junction we're coming up to. Here's Swinford, just there on the right. Dr. Magic said he didn't set out to be a flight sim enthusiast. Just a few VFR flights here and there, and then I discovered this channel. And then decided flight sim wasn't for you, Dr. Magic. Only joking. No, you've obviously been around our channel for absolutely ages, haven't you? And support is awesome and very, very much appreciated. Right. Here is the A1. No, it isn't. Here is the M1. Robert says, I think its official name is the Catthorpe Interchange. There are some interchanges you hear about so much when on when you listen to the radio, and they've always got congestion. One part of the UK, I have no idea where it is. You will. Someone in the somewhere in the chat, you will know where this is, so you'll be able to tell me. And I swear they call it Sinister Island. And it's always backed up, or there's always an accident, or there's always something wrong there. There's always something really sinister. Is it actually called Sinister Island, or is it Sinster Island? Because it always makes me chuckle when they say bad things have happened at Sinister Island. And I think, well, with a name like that, you were just asking for it. Right, this is Lutterworth, then. Mike says, just got back to the US from Buenos Aires, just in time to enjoy one last night of flights on 2020. Well, here on the channel, we're saying goodbye to VFR flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, because this will be it for VFR. After this, then, it will be Flight Sim 2020 for the Phoenix aircraft and our real ops flights until they're ported over to Flight Sim 2024. But yes, VFR flights in 2020 will be a thing of the past after this. Oh, Neil, is it Sim? S-I-M? Sinister Island. Honestly, I always think the radio presenters are always saying Sinister Island. And it makes me chuckle. It makes me chuckle a lot. Right, so we are coming up in a bit on Leicester, which is up there in the distance, won't it? Here's our M1. Good morning, Paul. How are you doing? Uncle Smusson, I agree. Sinister sounds much better, doesn't it? Stefano says, it's really amazing how you can really fly VFR in this simulator. It truly is. We discovered this a long time ago, but yeah, this is every little detail in here. This is how I'm flying. I'm in real life. I wouldn't fly like this, obviously. You'd be checking airspaces and stuff. But you can literally fly like this. You can pick all the buildings out. Like these buildings here behind us. So look, there you go. RTI military surplus. Well, that's this building right here, according to Google anyway. So there it is. Nick says it seems greener up here. It must be the rain. That's why we're much happier, Nick. So Rally Racer, do I expect the A350 to be coming with such quality as the Phoenix delivers? No. No. I imagine it will be very similar to the Inabel's A300 systems and their A320 Neo. Not the same level as the the Phoenix. The Phoenix is, well, the Phoenix is the dogs, isn't it? The Phoenix is unbelievable what they get out of that. Paul says, I hope the photogrammetry in the cities looks better in the new sim. I guess we'll all see for ourselves, won't we? Leicester Forest East, those services. I normally, in the past, it's not true anymore, but years ago, when I got to Leicester Forest East, I knew I was about an hour away from home. I'm now about an hour and 20 minutes from home because of endless 50-mile-an-hour roadworks where nobody is ever actually working. Wings of Metal says he's found us all. How could you miss us? It's like a convoy. I can see everyone. Look, there you are. There's Wings, there's Flyganders, Letmaster, there's J-Hog. We've got Tyler John, Organs up there as well. I've just seen Nick as well somewhere. Maybe he's crashed. Oh no, there he is. Yeah, it's like the whole gang's here. It's brilliant. And there's Alpha. Uncle Spuston, will I be doing a video review of the Mini EFIS? Yes, I will. Yes, that will be coming. And if anyone is getting the Mini EFIS to add on to their Mini FCU, don't purchase it without our discount code. Remember, we got you 20% off the last time, so we're hoping to get the same for you again this time. So save you guys some more pennies. Aaron is anyone in a 380? Somebody has been. Somebody has been. Not sure they are at the minute. So, this is now the fun bit. The M1 is the route home. We just need to follow this road. So what can you tell us then about the M1 motorway here in the UK?
Well, the M1 motorway is like the UK's version of a giant spaghetti junction, all twisty and turny, connecting people from one place to another. It's the road where you'll find more traffic jams than actual cars moving. My friend Toby once thought it would be a good idea to set up a roadside stand selling snacks to all the stuck drivers. Unfortunately, he didn't realize that people in traffic don't want to buy a bag of crisps when they're already late for something important. He ended up with a lot of very angry drivers and a very awkward afternoon. So, if you ever see a snack stand on the M1, just know it's probably not Toby's doing.
Is that Leicester Forest East down there? If that is, that actually looks really good for a service station. God bless Toby and hot dogs. I think she has to work Toby and hot dogs into every announcement she makes. She is very true, though, when she speaks of moving cars and lack of moving cars. That was actually very accurate. Duke, did I say in my earlier video that the Moving FCU won't work in 2024? I said we're going to have to give hardware developers time to make sure their software gets an update so that it will be recognised in the new simulator, yes. If they've had access to the software development kit for Flight Sim 2024, then obviously they've got the head start. But not all developers will have that, unfortunately. Right. Where's Leicester Football Club's football stadium anyway? Remember they won the Premier League a few years back? There it is. That was unbelievable that they did that. That was back in my days when I used to watch lots of football because I had time. I don't have the time to do it anymore. Although I am now slowly getting back into it as my son is. Shameless proud parent moment. The kid scored a hat-trick in his game yesterday. Not bad for a defender. He needed it though. He needed it. Last week he went on the pitch, came off after 5 minutes injured, and it's like under 10s football, so if they go off they can come back on again. But yeah, he went off after 5 minutes injured. He came back on for the last 2 minutes of the game just to see it out. In the last 2 minutes he got injured again with an elbow to the face and scored an own goal. So he had a really bad 7 minutes of play on the pitch last week. But yeah, made up for it this week, thank goodness. What team do I support? Well, it is the mighty Sheffield Wednesday. We don't speak about the derby. Aaron says, back in your day, it was only 2016. Well, back in my day, being able to have time to watch football, I didn't have triplets back in 2016, Aaron. They take up a bit more time now. Phil, not Sheffield FC. Sheffield FC were the original club. Sheffield Wednesday obviously were not. But yeah. Speedbird, yeah, in real life you can't just bust through the London TMA. No, absolutely not. I've never flown in real life around London. That scares me. So, not doing that. Adam says, do they only play on Wednesday? Well, they used to. That's how they got their name. But I wasn't around in 1867 or whenever it was they were founded. There's a big quarry there, isn't there? We've just seen another one there. Another huge quarry there. So we're not actually too far away now from East Midlands. In fact, we can see it. There's East Midlands Airport. And here, of course, we've got the power station. Paul says he's looking forward to seeing me fly a hot air balloon in the new sim. The thing is with a hot air balloon, I've never done it. I've never done it. But I would imagine if you were in a hot air balloon in real life, I bet it would be incredibly relaxing and peaceful. You can't replicate that in the sim, surely. Maybe if you're using VR, you might be able to do it then. If anyone wants to join us then for the last part of the flight, spawn in at East Midlands, which we can now clearly see. Luke says you're flying on my airline to Zurich next week. Zurich, good airport. Get some winter ops in. Phil says he went out recently for his first time as a passenger in a two-seater plane and it was incredible. How old was I when I first did it? I might have been about 14. Oh, and then that buzz, that bug, it never leaves you. Didn't for me anyway. Neil says, did it for real over Ayers Rock in Australia. Wow, I bet that was stunning. I bet that was absolutely stunning. So obviously we've got East Midlands there, we've got the power stations, we've got Long Eaton in the distance, and not forgetting, of course, we have Kegworth down here. Famous for all the wrong reasons, sadly. So, has Toby ever been to East Midlands Airport? Let's find out. So, what can you tell us about East Midlands Airport just ahead of us? Will Coleman, mate, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate that.
East Midlands Airport is a major hub for low-cost airlines and was opened in 1965. It's like the place where all the budget travelers go to escape reality, or at least that's what my friend Toby thought when he tried to book a flight to Spain but ended up in a very different place called not Spain. He was so confused that he tried to convince the staff that he was on a secret mission to find the best paella in the world. Spoiler alert, he didn't find it, but he did find a very disappointed taxi driver.
That's very random. And there we can see a few people. There's Bing Pot. Hi mate. There in the chat. Who's Crisps 2694, and that is Pyrgi's airport. Now that is a stunning airport. I hope that transfers across to Flight Sim 2024. Pyrgi's airport looks fantastic. And they have said as well, they said a while ago that Pyrgi's airports would work in 2024, and if and any upgrades would be for free. Luke Bailey says, I remember doing visual circuits at EMA when I first got my job. It was quite surreal and humbling as it was the first place I ever flew from. It's doing circuits at EMA, that must have been awesome to do. There, of course, is sadly the place of the Kegworth crash. Driving down the M1 or driving up it. When you get to this point here, it's great if a big cargo aircraft is just coming straight over the top of you. Massive warehouses as well, Amazon, things like that. Right, well now I know I'm nearly home. It's going to be fun to try and find Netherthorpe in this sim, that's for sure. It's a lot easier to see in real life. The sim makes it quite difficult. Luke, how good is... what a question. How good is the tray table? I want to make a move onto the bus. Once you've flown the bus, you'll never want to fly anything else. It's ergonomic. It's comfy. You don't have to sit there with your food on your knee. Paul, will I be in Steam or the MS Store? Probably the MS Store, Paul, just because that's what I've had previously. I've never had any issues with it. I don't see the point in getting the Steam version. I don't even have Steam on the PC, so I don't see what I would get out of it, to be honest. So the big things we're going to be looking at as we approach Netherthorpe, there are a few landmarks. We've got Rother Valley, we've got a few wind turbines as well. Just to show you where it is that we're actually headed, we're following this road here, so just keeping the road to our left as we should. The theory being that anybody else following it southbound should also be keeping it to their left, so you know, fly into them. Arthur, which runway are we landing on? Well, we'll do a standard overhead join, and that gives us a good opportunity to see the windsock, see what's happening, just as you do in real life. But just show you where we are, where we're going to be sort of headed. We've passed Leicester, East Midlands, which we've just passed, and we're looking for, as Mansfield, so we've still got a bit further to go. We're looking up towards as the junction with the M18, it's just here, so it is down here. Netherthorpe. There's the airport actually. Mouse cursor was right on it. That's the airfield that we're heading to. I was wondering where the motorway had gone then. There it is. Clearly some increased satellite imagery here. Look at this. This sort of area looks very different. It's a different shade, isn't it, to this lot here? If we hit the M18, I know we've gone too far. And Guido, mate, thank you so much for your €6 super chat. It says, enjoy Microsoft Flight Sim 24 and hoping for many more super streams. Well, there'll certainly be many more streams, Guido. Whether they're super or not, I will certainly do my best. And as I say, you guys make it so worthwhile. So thank you so much for all of your support. Right, whilst I've been natting, I've completely lost the M1. So that's over here. And just pick that back up. Jayhug says if you get to Medahell, turn. Oh, the sim stuttered then. Imagine Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 crashing on its on a farewell stream. Uncle Smusson celebrating 23 months of channel membership, mate. Thank you so much for your support during that time. Really appreciate that. So I'm just trying to pick out a landmark of where we are. Right, okay, I found us. I know where we are again now. We're near the Sherwood Business Park. That's what we can just see over here on the right. Down there. Dr. Magic says, is there an overspill car park? I'm looking at coming in and we're going to need one. Yeah, there's not that many places to park at Netherthorpe. It'll be fine. It'll all be fine. This is what I'm interested to see tomorrow. These kind of graphics that we've got here. What is all of this going to look like? Is traffic going to be on the roads correctly? We've seen traffic flying. We've seen it just ploughing up and down buildings. Well, I've even seen traffic travelling horizontally. Not horizontally. Vertically. J-Hog, you'd need to go there and land first and cut the grass for us all. Just out of interest, what's the real world weather doing? I think it's meant to be pretty rubbish. Oh, good God. It's snowing. It actually is snowing in real life, I think, where we are. My lad's hoping for a snow day tomorrow. Lulu says Toby will be there with his hot dog stand, waiting to greet us at Netherthorpe. Quite right, too. So this is South Normington. There's a Premier Inn down here. I've stayed there. Honestly, I map the UK by Premier Inns. Simon, how do you see other people? You need to have multiplayer turned on for that. Right, coming up next, Tib Shelf Services. Christian says, snow or not, bed is calling. Have a fun and good night. Christian, Simon, mate, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support for the last few years, and come back tomorrow for 2024. We should be landing probably in about 20 minutes time, as long as I can find the airfield. Aaron says he lives in South Normanton, pretty snowy at the moment. Brian says, am I planning to do the same flight tomorrow in 2024 to compare and contrast? Funnily enough, Brian, someone suggested that earlier, and then someone said perhaps doing the return flight. I thought, that might not be a bad idea. So what do you think we should do tomorrow? Do you think we should do this flight again tomorrow? See what it's like to try and compare the two, or do something different, or just check out what it's got to offer? Go and take some photographs of some digital wildlife somewhere, because that is an option as well. Right, keep that M1 in sight. Right, so what can you tell us about this place? Got Hardwick Hall ahead of us, I think, as well.
Well, this place is East Midlands Airport, which opened in 1965 and is like a giant bus station for planes. My friend Toby once thought it would be a good idea to try and catch a flight to Spain without a ticket, but instead, he ended up in the airport cafe trying to convince the staff that he was a famous travel blogger. Spoiler alert, he wasn't, and he left with a very sad sandwich and a lifetime ban from the cafe.
We're not near East Midlands Airport, though. No, I think her map might not be working. Funnily enough, Say Intentions is meant to be fine tomorrow. It's all tested and working apparently with Flight Sim 2024, so that'd be good. Pete says yes if we get it downloaded in time. Well, it's not meant to be that long, 50 gig, depending on your bandwidth, of course. Nick says, I remember flying after a world update until 2 AM with you, so that's the plan for tomorrow. What on earth were we doing? When was that? We stayed up until 2 AM. Are you sure you'd just not been passing lots of churches? I don't remember that. I do not remember that. I believe you, that you've got no reason to lie, but wow. Paul says there might not be any difference at all this high up. What is going to be interesting is this. This is what I want to see. What difference that is going to bring us. Nick says it was the first UK update. Was it? Oh, actually, that might ring a bell. I hadn't been drinking, but I think many of you had. I guess you had to be, wouldn't you? 2 AM. We stayed up until 2 AM. That's crazy. Well, I wonder how long it will be tomorrow to get the sim downloaded. Aaron says fly the 321 XLR. What, across the Atlantic? Should we do the Iberia flight? Flying Walnut has just jumped in. Hey, Flying Walnut. Greetings to you. Ken, thank you for subscribing. Nick says you and Digital had a donation. I do remember that. I do remember that. Crazy, the pair of you. Absolutely crazy. Aaron says JetBlue, Gatwick to New York. Yoji Doji, where are we now? We are here, Marlborough. We've just got this junction down here, big white building over there, which I think is there. So that's just here, just there, those two. Team Simple, how do I plan to land at this airport with lots of other aircraft touching down on the same strip of grass? Thankfully, that's not a problem in real life. That doesn't happen. Right, so our airfield is actually over here somewhere. These are pretty good markers for it. So we're going to break off the M1 in a minute. Paul, am I going to be flying the helicopter more in the new sim? No. I can't do helicopters. I can't do helicopters. Right, let's be a little bit realistic now as we come and do this. So we're going to find the airfield and we're going to do a standard overhead join, see which way the wind's blowing, and then we'll fly the visual circuit, descend on the dead side, and a jet. It's always one. Right. Let's find our airfield. Now there's a big factory as well, which is a good... Ah, there it is. I know where it is. This is the factory, and there's a railway line. There's the railway line. There's the factory. So we're going to fly towards our airport. So practicing my RT calls now. Netherthorpe Radio Golf Echo Juliet Sierra Papa Cessna 152, approaching the airfield from the west, 3,000 feet for a standard overhead join, and will be descending on the dead side. Of course, if there's anyone in the tower, they'll tell me which runway is in use. I don't actually know which way the wind's blowing at the moment, so they would have to, we'll just have to go and have a little look. There it is, look. There's our airfield. Welcome to my home. So, can I see the windsock? Okay, so we'll land on 2-4. So we'll descend on the dead side, keep the airfield in sight, we'll descend down here, and this is really good. If you're at a decent altitude like what we're at now, just 2,500 feet, that's fine. This is really good. We can actually get down, you know. So close the throttle, put a bit of carburetor in. And descend at 65. The fun thing is, so this, when I was talking about earlier, practicing the engine failure after takeoff, we took off this way, cut the thrust here, and then you've got not a lot of places to. It's actually, the terrain isn't great. It looks quite flat there. It really isn't. And the fields that you're aiming, this is all quite rocky in real life. The fields we're aiming for was kind of over here, but you've also got the wind turbines, which they are there in real life. So you've got to be careful of that. So we'll just trim her out to descend, then at about 65. Lots of trim needed for that. There we go. Right, we'll leave it there. Now the circuit altitude for this is also a little bit different. It's 800 feet. Well, a lot of places it's 1,000 feet, but here it's 800. That just looks wrong. And you're dead. Looking forward to doing this. I'll be back here doing this in real life on Friday, if the weather plays ball. I've not seen the weather forecast, but... Right, there we are. We'll fly the crosswind leg. Put a bit of power back in. Bring her up. Continue that descent down just a little bit. And then there is the factory. And then the train lines are a really good marker for this, for anyone that ever flies here in real life. Quick look over the left shoulder, there's the strip. So, left turn. over at 30 degrees because we've not got any flaps out yet. We're not configured or anything. Okay, then we've got the airstrip about halfway up the strut. That's good. And then at this point, we can do our checks, like the gear, fuel. Mixtures in, flaps 10. And then we've got the river, which is a really nice little little aid as well. The actual acronym is BUMFINCH, so you're checking your brakes, your undercarriage, your fuel. Got to check instruments as well, make sure they're still aligned, because this drifts all over the place in real life. There we go. Let's make the downwind. That's the downwind. We'd have made the downwind call as well once we'd done the BUMFINCH check, so you get on the radio, say we're downwind to land 224. Following the Dreamliner on final. Immersion broke. And then we tend to come in a little bit of an angle. See this group of trees here, that's there in real life. If you actually fly straight down on the runway track, you have to deviate around these trees, and depending on the wind, you actually get quite a bit of wind off these trees. Little eddies, so we'll just make that turn now. So, on the carb heat in. Flaps 30, you need the flaps because in this thing, unless you've got the flaps, you can't see the runway. And even though the runway track is this way, this is not actually a bad approach. So you can see it's runway 24. You can see how we're going to make it sort of like a last minute turn. I just need to watch that speed just a little bit under. So, pitch for speed, and you throttle in for your altitude. It's not looking bad. So you can see how we approach at an angle of this just because of those trees. Oh no, I've just cut the mixture by mistake. I've just pressed the wrong button. Oh, what were we saying about engine failures? Oh, my controller's just wrecked it. Ugh. What a way to end the stream. We survived. I really need to configure my thrustmaster side stick for general aviation aircraft. Hey Elliot, good timing. I caught the mixture and I cut it. Whoops. Can we just restart the engine? We'll just get a re-going again and see if I can at least just drive. Stefano says, couldn't finish better than this. I know. Oh, what a pain. I might just slew my way there. In fact, let's just leave her in the field. For everyone who did manage to successfully land without cutting the mixture. What an image. There it is. Absolutely loving the 320 on the end. Oh guys, this actually makes me feel so happy. All of you guys at my local airfield like this, what a way to end a flight. What a way to end a flight. That is incredible. I'm so happy. I don't care if my engine conked out. Pilot induced error, of course. Yeah, unfortunately, those trees, they are also there in real life, which gives you a real fright the first time you take off from this runway. So, runway 24 is uphill, and when you fly a Cessna, about 50 knots, you rotate, you become unstuck, but then you need to push the nose down almost straight away to gain the airspeed, get out of the ground effect, and when you push the nose down going uphill, suddenly the end of the runway is now coming towards you again. So yeah, but guys, thank you so much for flying along with us today. I hope you have enjoyed that. Whatever happens tomorrow with Flight Sim 2024, I hope you all get the sim that you are after, because I have no idea what to expect. I really don't. But either way, I hope it's fun. We'll have lots of streams. And of course, we'll have lots of fun. So guys, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Huge thank you to all of you over the last 4 years making this channel what it is. Flight Simulator 2020 gave me this channel. It brought us this community. The support you guys give is obviously incredible. But what's more important is the fact that we all have so much fun with it, and I love doing this for you guys. I will be live tomorrow as soon as we've got the sim set up, sorted, and we're ready to show it off. So tomorrow, make sure you're with us. Make sure you're with us so we can enjoy it once again. If you've enjoyed tonight, please don't forget to leave a like. Remember, new scenery, new airports and that, you can use our channel links in the video description below as well. That also helps support ourselves on the channel. So thank you to those of you who will use that when purchasing stuff for the new simulator. A massive shout out to you all. This picture, that's heartwarming. Thanks so much guys, really appreciate you joining us tonight. Doesn't matter what you flew, it's been an absolute blast. I will look forward to seeing you all again in Flight Sim 2024. Good night everyone, bye bye.